Okay, I don't want to write stuff, and Eisen said I could do Illyria, so I'm just going to do video homework instead. Fight me, I don't care. You know I plan fights. And phase 1 and 2 are pretty on rails. There's some cool tech in phase 2 that I think we only did like 60 pulls on this. There's some cool tech in phase 2 that I developed several pulls in to us progging that I'll talk about when we get there. And then the phase 3 tech is basically defensive tech. Here's the spoiler. Like, phase 3 looks like that for a reason, and it's pretty obvious why.
Well, just for public, I'm gonna monarch the named ads in phase 3. If you want to hit the symbol.
I'm just gonna let the video run, and I'll pause it and talk sometimes.
Oh, okay, sure.
With cooldowns being at 20 seconds, all of this stuff before 20 seconds, or before pressing Tyrant, has to be the same, like, every time. The Burning Rush there to get over. The Burning Rush there to get over. The cast sequencing, all of that is precisely lined up to avoid the tremor, get me in place, and get me back to where I need to be. If I've got the obelisk there, I'd just come to about there and try not to make it too hard for the rest of the raid to play around. Some people played very close to the bait point and made it pretty difficult to play around. Milk played it pretty well there. You've got to give some space for people so that they're not fucking terrorized by it.
Zero and 5.
6, 5.
A lot of this fight's going to be efficiency of movement. So I can move when I've got things to move with and eat cooldowns, and the rest is that. All of this cast sequencing for pretty much the entirety of phase 1 and 2 is just on rails. Like, phase 1 especially is the same time every time. You'll see on either this next interrupt or the one after how tight I can run it because I know what the cast sequencing is.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Beware.
There's Tyrant, and here's the cast, and I'm going to run this to within 0.3 seconds and not cancel, because I've seen that enough. I know what the sequence is, and I know I'm going to beat it. So that's not just outplaying it. I had done this repeatedly on multiple pulls and had played a little bit with my gear to get the correct amount of haste to be able to get this cast off to be refilled so that I would have enough for another hand quickly.
0 and 3. Switch to
He's saying switch to Morium. I've got my own timing for the Morium switch.
Morium.
It's basically as soon as the big green demon comes out, I've got Ruination. And again, the cast sequence is the same every time, so that's a very consistent timing. I can then switch over to Morium. Like, I'm looking for the proc, and I can rely on the proc because it's timing based and based on how many shards I've eaten. And because of that, I can use that to switch proactively at a consistent time each time.
6, 5.
So I'm on Morium.
4,
Ruination, hand.
2, 1.
Beware.
bait.
And again, I'm going to go right to the line on this tremor, assuming that he's just going to work with the sequence. That finishes, and you can see the tremor is basically done. Like, I'm not even looking at that right now. I'm looking at my bars or at Morium. I just know, and I'm trusting my timing on the fight, that that's going to be fine.
Get Demiar in 5 seconds.
And that's all stuff that I'm trying to figure out, like, fairly early on night 1. So I took a lot of hits from the interrupt early in prog, And then once I had the timings down, I never took one ever again.
Demiar.
Personals.
If I played right. So here, my heuristic for this mechanics set is very simple. There's going to be this giant clump of shit I don't want to be anywhere near in this area right here. So if I don't have the bait and I don't have an obelisk, like as soon as the baits and obelisks are out, I can get the fuck out of here, because I do not want to be here dealing with this shit.
Demiar.
Personals. I got Demiar.
So I just get early, and there's not really any damage happening right now, so I can just chill here.
6, 5, 4.
Wait, position.
The ping there is a reminder for the rest of the raid. I had to do a lot of pinging on this fight, because our raid leader does not know how to access the ping button.
3. These are miss. Obelisk is coming. Bait.
This was very consistent. Fucking DH terrorists.
Good to go.
And then I'm going to significantly over-move this because I was pinging it. I take a route through the middle, so in case I'm slightly slower and get arrows, it's easier for me to get back. If I'm taking a route out here and I'm slow, it can be very hard for me to get to Morium. So I want to stay closer to the center so I can cut the angle better if I need to save an arrow on Morium here coming up. But here I've got stuff to cover the movement, so I'm just going to kind of press hand and then use that to cover the movement.
Hit Morium when it...
And ping myself again for all of these people to be like, hi, the warlock is over here. What's your excuse?
You hit Morium.
I checked to see that Morium's dead there, that little wiggle. I was doing this basically every pull, just to make double secret sure that I would not have to, on a future set, potentially go save that on the set that's Varellus later.
Watch the bait.
Trying to play in the least terrorist-y direction as far as the bait stuff. If I bait something there, it can be pretty hard for range to play. So my heuristic for this is always go towards the edge.
Targeted.
Like, a lot of mechanics handling in general, the way I look at it, is how can I make this easy and predictable to play around for other people. Like, and if I'm doing that consistently, it just makes it easy over time for the raid to play around me as best I can.
Hit Varellus at 3.
Here as well, we do the unnecessarily tight stack. Again, was it super necessary? No. Is it just habit based on I see the guy with the thing, I'm going to stack on him because it's going to make it easier for the rest of the raid if these are pixel stacked as close to as possible? Yeah. Did I need to do it here? No.
Hit Varellus.
Alright, we're about to go to phase and start getting into some of the lock movement stuff here. All the lock movement obviously has to be pre-planned. Circle and Gateway are not really reactive movement, and Burning Rush kind of sucks. Every pull I was setting the gate back there to get from the bait spot to the other bait spot that most of the range would use. And I was also setting this circle here. I'll use it in just a sec.
To meet with your friends.
And I'm immediately positioned for intermission and can ping myself for the rest of the raid. I appreciate the unnecessarily tight 3-stack. last one for phase. Illyria is targetable early here. I was talking shit rather than targeting her early, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going to use her in this intermission to build procs of stuff for when we go into phase 2. So you see I got procs there from dogs expiring. I'm going to send dogs again in a few seconds, and I send the damage on them both to get my pet attacking her, because the pet will keep attacking her even when we get the knock-up at the end of the intermission, and to refill my soul shards, so they won't go down now without me pressing something that spends them. So I'm full at this point, and I've got 4 available going into the start of phase 2. So I'm already built up for maximum DPS potential at the start of the Lust window, and I'm going to gild the Lily here in a second by pressing dogs during the 99% DR to get myself another couple charges of that. I'm setting myself up during the intermission to succeed in the Lust window.
Okay. Eat.
8.
Dodge.
So there's a dog press. I will get that next set of cores in 10 seconds. And as you can see, we're 14 seconds away from stage 2.
And eat.
This is a don't panic situation. These, and I had, again, limit tested this in earlier pulls of the intermission. These lines will go off before the circle does. I don't have to panic.
8.
Dodge.
Tigers less, please.
So I'm not going where the rest of the raid is going. This is one of the few things that I had looked at logs for. Usually I don't do a ton of looking at logs. I don't do class-specific VOD review. Like I almost never, if ever, watch any Warlock POVs on fights. I want to be able to figure it out for myself. If it's just executing, the game is not really fun for me. This is one of the things I looked at logs for, the post-intermission positioning. I looked at a number of logs, and everyone I had seen do the positioning that I'm going to do had not resulted in the bait being fucked up. So I did this consistently. I'm going to do it when we re-kill Illyria. It never changed anything about the bait. It's simply so that I can get my movement set for phase 2, or for phase 3, like the start of phase 3, without completely destroying my DPS in the Lust window. And if I was doing Hit Squad, it would also be the move back for that. So it would be important either way, both for phase 3 to make that actually work, and then if I was doing Hit Squad, I'd be placing it here too, to not destroy my damage to the ads for Hit Squad in the Lust window.
Here.
So she's DPSable as well, obviously, as we all know.
Tigers less, please.
So I'm looking for, like, as soon as that number changes, like I'm getting out of the way, as soon as that number changes, she's DPSable. I'm just basically trying to get back and press dogs and get in position. Because I want that running so I can run cooldowns. And it gives the proper timing offset. And you can see that I've got 4 charges of Demonic Core for going into the Lust window.
There a little bit.
Like I'm pressing all my cooldowns except Tyrant here. Dogs, Imp. I can get a Hand of Gul'dan cast off. I know this from doing this phase repeatedly. This is all, again, on rails timing. And what I'm going to have is super consistent, just based on the amount of cores I'll have. So the execution on this is going to be pretty straightforward. So it's land, position, circle, pot, tyrant,
Damage.
and then just execute the rotation.
Obelisk in 3 seconds, and then bait spawn.
Eat up the movement with movement globals.
Beware.
Obelisk,
And here I've got obelisks.
bait,
And so I have to make that movement and do that casting in that space of time, which was a point that I worked on as we were doing early prog pulls of this, figuring out how to get the cast sequence down, basically pre-casting the stuff before she lands, while she's still DPSable, the major cooldowns there, and then how to do the Tyrant and cast sequencing. As you see, I've eaten everything. I'm going to eat this other hand of Gul'dan. I've got my Dreadstalkers. I'm in good position here to do the remainder of the Lust window and do my damage for it. I will wiggle back here. There's people who didn't go all the way to the bait spot in one movement there, and I'm going to try not to terrorize them. It's not super necessary, but I can also see that melee is out of the way here, so I'm not going to terrorize melee by just getting off these people and not throwing a pull away.
6, 5,
hit
4,
Galeria with marks in 3,
2, 1.
Galeria with marks. Bait Obelisk,
So my general plan for this phase was to simply do the dance correctly. Again, as with phase 1, it's a lot of movement efficiency stuff. I need to cover those movement pieces, if possible, with stuff that's instant cast, so I'm not losing uptime. So at times I'll lag behind the group, but I've got a solid idea based on the timer there, and based on simply playing this a number of times, I've got a solid idea of how much time I have to go each direction.
Obelisk,
And then, whereas a lot of people generally ended up further from the puddle, I tried as consistently as possible, even though it was a DPS loss and was more movement, tried as consistently as possible to get as close as possible to the puddle. I didn't, based on where the obelisk was on this one, the heuristic for that is there's not really a ton of space to go here, and I don't want to be this far out, so I'm going to be closer to the front, just based on the point, or the direction the obelisks are pointing.
6, 5,
bait,
4, 3,
Galeria
2,
with marks,
1.
2,
And I know immediately that it's not on me, so I can move out and start getting ready to move this way. In the meantime, though, I'm holding back, because if I have an arrow on me, I don't want to already be halfway here and have to come back.
Galeria with marks. Obelisk, seconds. Clone.
Beware.
I have another obelisk, so my job is simply hit that. Like, DPS is obviously going to suffer because I need to hit that and do the mechanic. And it spawned in kind of an odd spot, so I can't, so I have to balance not terrorizing the raid, not blasting through melee, hitting it, continuing to do damage, and also being somewhere reasonably close enough to them that no one's freaking out seeing someone outside the bait pile. So I have to be far enough away not to terrorize them, and close enough to make it comfortable from a, oh, we're all baiting correctly perspective. Even though with the obelisk, you're ineligible for bait.
Six,
Bait.
5, 4, 3.
Bait goes off there. Again, pretty reasonable. I'm far enough out that I won't have to immediately move out of it, so I'm basically post-positioned for the bait there, and that spacing is intentional while being on this side.
Galeria with
2,
marks.
1.
Keep kicking the void spawn.
Okay, I notice quickly here that Tralt has an arrow over his head, so that means I have additional work to do. Because in this phase he's been the stack point. If he's up there, the rest of the range needs some guidance.
Bait. Hit the clones.
Again, you'll see the same heuristic here. Reasonably close
5, 4,
in the space.
Hit area with marks and 2.
1.
Pause for arrows to make sure that I can get up there if I need to, and then get over here. And I was pinging this one pretty consistently through Prague.
Be our last one of this platform.
So as soon as we're over here, and I see the obelisk come out, if it's not on me, I need to go place the gate. So I've already soul burned. I soul burn
Be our last
here.
one.
So I'm waiting for the obelisk, and as soon as I see the obelisk spawn and it's not on me, I can go place the gate.
Of this platform. Clone.
Gates up, and I've pretty much always had space, or I always had space on basically every pull to be able to comfortably just waddle back through.
6, 5,
Good. Watch your
Four.
holiday. Good.
3,
Okay, here I have a mechanic. Most pulls I obviously didn't have a mechanic and was able to go to the gate. And so the pre-move inherently was that. I pick up that I've got it reasonably quickly and just change where I'm going.
You stay,
One.
otherwise.
And it was always here. So I'm not trying. I don't have to try to tuck too deep on this. I want to tuck somewhere where I can quickly get to the gate.
Mechanics stay, otherwise gate. Keep piping.
And again, here I need to just keep moving over to this side and work on cast efficiency. Like the entirety of phase 2 is just movement efficiency stuff.
Richard, 99 yards out then in. Holy fuck, she blows.
She's DR'd, but I want to keep stuff cycling, so I'm going to keep DPSing, quote unquote, her during this, just to keep stuff in cycle and keep my timings correct.
Out.
And it's not particularly hard to keep doing that to keep the cycle going. While she's doing this, this mechanic isn't hard.
In. Stay on the right hand side.
Another ping to remind the raid.
6,
And again, she comes back, I've got full soul shards.
5,
We can just keep
And the
going.
cast starts in
3,
3. It'll go
2.
off.
You can see at the top of the screen where my circle is. That is how I'm getting from this platform to the first platform we're doing phase 3 on. So, I see tethers, I see obelisks. If I have neither of those, I can go right away. And there's an ad I can immediately start hitting and put priority damage on.
Off at 6.
1,
Break immediately.
Here comes tether.
Okay, I don't have either mechanic, so it's just get in range of circle,
Go.
and I'm there. And immediately I can be on the simulacrum. I've used coil by this point, and Healthstone will be coming up shortly. I need to move reasonably quickly over here to ping for the raid, or for the ranged. So I get over there, and then I'm going to hit Varellus for a while until
Great question.
That line.
until he's low enough that I can switch back to later.
Get up. Paralysis is dead.
And again, the cooldown timing works out such that
Simulacrum
this
dead.
is
Get
good to go, and I've got damage for the ads and for earlier again.
4, 3,
Again, faster than I'd like to
2,
move back there, but for the
1.
rest of the range who don't have a mechanic,
Casting, this is
I'm trying to get position for that. I had trouble with, and I'll probably change it if I'm either no longer needing to ping later in farm, or make a slight move of difference after the tethers come out, just to get myself better positioned to keep hitting the boss through it. There were times where the boss would get dragged through me during a cast, and it would take me a second to figure out that the orientation had changed and I needed to fucking turn around.
set.
immediately.
Oh, I taunted early.
It's okay. I got it back.
Range go.
We have to swap on the next one.
Yeah.
6,
The ping here was to get people onto this side of the gate so that we would have enough room.
5, 4,
Stay
3,
on me.
2,
Like, on me was much less forgiving where Bud is versus where I am. That was much less forgiving on the opposite side for how much room people had. Like, this positioning where most of the raid ended up being gave us more room over here. And the ping and whatnot and my positioning versus his is deliberate in that regard.
1,
To my call. Get docked up quick.
Take it, doctor.
Wait for my call.
You can see that those are basically on top of me, and they've got just this much more room on the far side of the gate. So it makes spreading with obelisks, if they've got both mechanics or whatever, just that little bit easier.
Gate.
This is also UR and health pot, so I've pressed unending resolve already, just to deal with the damage when we're crossing and doing other stuff and breaking tethers. I'll press health pot on the way over there.
Melee break.
Because you just got both of them.
Range.
5,
You need to be targeting
Oh,
Demiar
yes,
here,
3,
and it's not just blast over there so that healers have time to catch up, because that's a hard move for them. I'm going to health pot in just a sec.
Everyone on Demiar.
Heal absorb. If you have a heal absorb, use a health pot.
6,
I sent CDs a bit later there to have more to carry to Illyria, because Demiar was getting piped at this point in
5,
Prague where our damage was.
3,
I didn't want to oversend on him
Going to the
and then
middle. To the center.
lose a ton of damage on Illyria, so I just hold it for a fraction of or a few seconds.
Melee break.
Same issue here with boss facing.
Range break.
I'm going to play that differently on farm.
Obelisk.
And break.
And despite my my not remembering this on rekill, I knew that it was Cosmos and Go, and that once those obelisks were out, I didn't have to be over where the rest of the raid is. I could just be wherever. So I was just waiting for Cosmos, and as soon as Cosmos finishes, it's just gate and get the fuck out.
6,
Watch
5,
the obelisk.
4,
After Cosmos, we go.
Personals.
This is the other Dark Pact here as well. In this area here, just to help the healers across the tethers and other bullshit.
2,
Cosmos is done, I'm leaving.
1,
Go to the next platform.
Melee break.
And again, this is a
Range break.
slower move to a ranged position so that healers have room to catch up.
On the ads. Get baited on the ads. Everyone, every cooldown you have on the ads.
I've also by now pressed coil. This is that's the last defensive I'm going to press during the fight. I have Healthstone available, so if there's any kind of problem from here on, like if we're here and we're not super dead, we're probably just going to kill the fight, assuming Morium dies reasonably and no one does anything terrorizing. So if I just hold on to Healthstone and slam it if we get in trouble, then we'll be fine. We don't get in trouble, so it's alright.
Morium, it's the die. DPS
Second
pods should
pods,
be
sir.
up. Second pods.
We pot with
Stay
Tyrant
back
there,
for the bait.
Heal absorb.
and just
Bring
on
Ilaria to
area
the
here.
middle. Bring Ilaria to the middle. Do not break these tethers. Stay back for the bait.
6,
If you have bait,
5,
stay back.
4,
Tethers will
3.
never break.
2, 1.
Personals.
Tethers in the middle do not fucking break dodge obelisks.
Personals.
And here's one more call
Not
to just
breaking
remind the
these,
raid.
Just standing and banging.
Dodge the obelisks. Do not break. Good
6,
job.
5,
Let's fucking go.
4,
Fucking
That's it.